I think if nothing else, 2020 proved the significance of having the right gear and the right equipment and how that can significantly impact your business. Well, hey there, entrepreneurs. Welcome back to the vlog. So on today's vlog, it's really late. It's actually, oh, my watch stopped. I did not notice that today. So the watch stopped at 6:20 today. I need to see if I got another battery. So this is now significant. It's just a piece decoration, but it's actually 12:36 a.m. So what's interesting is that not only did the Sony pick up face detection on the phone, but it's really interesting. I've been thinking about and just really pondering, like, am I obsessed with gear, like just for the purchasing kind of a deal of it, or is there something more? And so I journal a lot, and I'll have a journal that I carry with me all the time. And so I've been thinking about gear and just how entrepreneurs devalue gear, especially camera equipment and stuff, to the point that it really, really hurts their business. And the early parts of 2020 really proved that. So I just finished the video edit for the Canon M50 Mark II upgrades video. So people that were original M50 users that wanted to upgrade, now the M50 Mark II didn't meet their requirements or standards, what they thought it would have. And so I just went through some different video options or camera options, if you will, if you're getting ready to go through and compare, cameras that were in a similar price range, which ones should you buy? Only thing is with this video is that it wind up being, which I already knew from the beginning, that none of these cameras honestly were worth buying, because most people bought the original Canon M50 simply because it was good enough and it was highly recommended on YouTube, even from me and myself just going through seeing how much I could do and push the camera and just really recommending it. So I literally, even without trying, have kind of like comparison things all over my desk. Literally two of the very same or similar things. One may be budget friendly or just cheap, but mostly just like cheap stuff, and then it's like the more expensive version, and then other stuff is just this another option. I have the Google Pixel 5 and I have the iPhone 11, and I'm using these, and iPhone 7 and the Google Pixel 4a. And just even from vlogging sticks, I have this set up on my SwitchPod, and then I also have other variations of ones that I'll use, like this newer ball head on here. That's something that was just a real lean and mean, super small setup, but I like a whole lot because it's just enough to grip, and this is very, very comfortable by Ulanzi. But then I also, it's like sometimes that's just a little bit too small. Enter the Manfrotto Pixie, and I've been using this for the last year, and I'll still carry it around. Built-in ball head, move it all around, whatever, little bit, longer legs, whatever. And then now I have the SwitchPod, and that's a different tool. So especially when it comes to cameras, I'm not really somebody that is just kind of addicted to gear. Yes, I enjoy the new tech things and the new cameras, and it's just something that I'm genuinely interested in, but this is my craft. This is my field and my area of business, and so I have to stay on top of those things that are coming out. But I also want to know, has something been released that better suits our needs and things like that? And so often when it would come to cameras, people would set the price first and then just buy based on that and just try to get whatever fits the price, basically. And then not even 6 months later, really honestly at 60 days, they're figuring out, like, what, this was a bad buy and this was a bad purchase, not because there's something wrong with the camera, but I didn't buy the camera based on the features that I need versus the price. So what that would mean for you is that the things that you're trying to do as far as getting the audio maybe from the camera or to the camera, it's a little wonky. You may have to test it. So I'm not sure, they haven't, as far as I've tested with any of their other Canon cameras, they don't allow the ability to stream and simultaneously record internally. So if I had to pick between the Sony ZV-1, the a6400, and the a6600, and you're saying like one of the primary issues that you're having with the ZV-1 is the ability to not switch out the lenses, I think that I really want to look at the use case. If you know that, for example, because you can't go a wider angle, you're stuck at like that 24 millimeters, which is even for your M50 when you had the kit lens, as wide as that lens would go, that's probably as good as you're going to get even on like that ZV-1. So you don't have the ability to get like a 10 to 18 to have that wider angle. If that's something that's important to you, I would rather have something that gives me options versus limitations for the use case. So yeah, for the money, I would probably just pick up a used A6600 and then just really test out what the focal length is that you need and buy that appropriate lens. That way you'll probably have a lens that lives on that camera mostly for 99% of the time, and then for the occasion that you want to use it for something else, you have the ability to do so, and you can still keep a lean and mean setup if you want when you're traveling, but then build it out if you need to. So this made me think more about like the type of gear and the equipment that we buy, and what most people tend to buy is just the wrong thing. Once you get the right tool for the right job, you infinitely just can breathe because you can just go to work. It's like having a car, and yes, you technically have a car, but it stops on you constantly. You don't know what the gas is because the needle is broke, or maybe how fast you're going because the needle is broke. But yes, you technically have a car, versus when you have a good car, you are only focused on the destination. You're only focused on where you're going versus just having that putt-putt, if you will. And so a lot of this has come from reading this book, Building a Story Brand by Donald Miller. And in a very simplistic format, the story framework is it's a character who wants something. They go on a journey to get it. They encounter a problem or conflict, but they also encounter or they meet a guide, which is usually us, the entrepreneur for our customers, and the person, the Luke Skywalker, if you will. They are, they accomplish that goal or whatever, but they're changed based on the journey, not necessarily that one specific thing. The journey significantly changes them. And it's our job as entrepreneurs to not be the Luke Skywalker or even attempt to be in our video content, but be the Yoda. So in being the Yoda on my channel, in my field, for entrepreneurs specifically, not for photography, not for cinematography, but for entrepreneurs, significantly changes the game because I know what we need for our work. And most people, when they're getting a camera, they buy a putt-putt. My goal is to hopefully have those that listen to my content, that watch my videos, and that follow me regularly buy features first and then look at the price. And honestly, price stops being a factor because we make space for literally whatever it is that we want. But that's why it's like, honestly, at this point, some brands I'm not even talking about, and I'm starting to talk about some brands less and less. I think it's extremely important, extremely valuable for entrepreneurs right now to make sure they are getting just a stellar lineup of equipment that they'll buy right now, and you won't have to think about twice for the next 3 to 4 years, even longer, unless you just want something different, but not because it can't do the job anymore.